video, I'm going to give you an introduction as to how most people use Excel sheets as a makeshift database and at what point that starts to break. So for this video series, for a mock or demo example app, we're going to be considering this social media app where we have two tables, one with a list of users. You can see they have a first name, last name, email, phone number, status, and when they were created at. And another table or another sheet which has the posts made by each user. So the username and email of the person who made the post, the caption, the image or video URL, how many likes that post got, and when was the post created at. So say this is our database and say this is our users table. And even if you're completely new to database, a good starting point is to always think of databases as Excel sheets, right? Just for visualization. Every database table has rows and columns. So each of the columns, first name, last name, email, phone number, status, and created at, each has their own data types. So they are text or string values. Emails are also text or string values. Phone numbers can be saved as numbers, but more often than not, they are saved as strings, just to be able to accommodate special characters like plus signs and things like that. A status may be a Boolean value, but it can also be a string value. And then your created at might be a timestamp or a data value. So just to begin the visualization process, we're going to see how Excel or Google Sheets work. Then we're going to discuss like why they don't and when they start to break. And then we're going to actually start working in Supabase, which is the database of choice we're going to be using throughout this module. Okay, so say this is our users table with our first user whose name is Kevin and last name is Smith. His email is kevin.smith123@gmail.com. This is his phone number, status, and created at. We have a second user, Johnson, email, phone number, status, and created at. And now say we had a new user whose first name and last name was also Kevin Smith, but had a different email, different phone number, different status, and different created at. So when we are looking at our users table and we want to modify, say, one of Kevin Smith's details, how do we know which Kevin Smith are we talking, right? And this is where Excel sheets may not always be able to do the job. There might be some workarounds you might be able to use, but it isn't the most intuitive as to which record you might be updating right out of the box. Another problem that may come up when working with Excel or Google Sheets as a makeshift database, Kevin Smith made a couple of posts, right? So in our posts table, we'd have Kevin Smith, his email, the caption, the image URL, and so on. So this is one post Kevin Smith has made. This is another post by the same Kevin Smith with the same email. And this is a third post by Kevin Smith. Now, say what happens if this user who's made the post wants to update his email address and say from kevin.smith123, he wants to change it to kevin.smith@gmail.com. So now if we make the update here, but we forget to update our post table, we suddenly have out of sync data, right? So this is where it starts to get tricky. And even though we just made one update in the users table, we now have to go through the entire post table to make sure that the data is in sync and that everywhere that we had used kevin.smith123 before, it now needs to be replaced with kevin.smith@gmail.com for our data to be in sync. Another issue that often comes up when working with Excel sheets or Google Sheets as makeshift databases is this idea of accidental versus intentional missing data. And we look at the row Jordan Williams and we see that there is no phone number in this row, right? Now, is this because we forgot to add a phone number? Is it because Jordan Williams does not have one? Should we even allow users to be created in this sheet if they don't have a phone number? The spreadsheet has no way of telling you which of these cases it is. Another common issue that arises when working with tools like Google Sheets as a makeshift database is what happens if 500 people are trying to simultaneously insert a row that's in your users table or in your post. What could end up happening is the Google Sheet will get corrupted. It may lose data, you may lose data, and there are a bunch of these problems that happen at scale that Google Sheets is not designed to handle, right? It's not meant to be used for real world applications. And so, based on a lot of these drawbacks of using Google Sheets like a makeshift data, are common problems that come up when you try using it for your automations, agents, or applications. So, over the next few videos, we're going to look at how a real database and we're going to use we're going to see up how to fix all the problems we discussed and so much. We're going to do all of this from scratch. We're going to take a real world, like we're going to build this similar social media app that has users and posts. You're going to see how we make decisions, why we use a database, how it solves all of the problems and shortcomings of Google. You will know how to use a database and all the relevant database principles to build 10 times or 100 times better automations, agents, and applications because